So hey guys, we just had our cup of tea after the watch along, and obviously me and Sensation are going to be giving our thoughts on the pre-season friendly game this evening, which has resulted in, surprisingly,
Right.
Wolves winning the game against Champions League bound FC Porto. It's only a
Mm.
friendly. We know it's only a friendly, but some positives to take.
Yeah,
After there's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
negativity around Wolves at the moment with transfers and all sorts of things, but positives tonight.
yeah. I think that come up against a team that give them a game,
Yeah,
and they managed it in some ways.
and it was a
It's
proper.
it's a proper
It
game.
wasn't like a tippy tappy friendly. It was like a proper friendly. Both teams were full of
Yeah.
energy and effort, tackles going in, so it was a proper
Some
test.
some of the tackles were quite firm.
Very, yeah, there was a lot of firm tackles going in.
So, but that's what you want. It's what I've always said is that if you give the man the chance to run with the ball, he'll run. So you've got to cut them off. You've got to force them.
You liked
I like
the press.
I like the press, the physicality of football. That now the mamby-pambies. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Of course you can. Get stuck in.
Get stuck in. Well,
Get
the Wolves
stuck
fans
in.
like. Well, the one thing that struck us from the start, to be honest, was okay. It kind of faded towards the end, but let's talk about it. It was interesting team selection, reasonably strong team. It was interesting who started in midfield. No Joe Gomez, for example. Joe Hodge started in midfield. The forward line, Cunha, Sarabia, Pedro Neto. Didn't see Wang come on tonight either, or Sasha. Fabio did come on towards the end. Bueno, and obviously we had Semedo, who went off at half time. Doherty came on. But the one thing that struck me, and I think it struck you, and we were saying in the first half, they were pressing all as one, chasing them down. And the goal came from exactly that.
Yeah.
The press. Wolves pressed high up the pitch in the final third, forced Porto into making a mistake, nicked the ball over. They basically moved the ball very quickly, created an overlap on the right-hand side, which was Mateus Nunes, who pinged the ball across to the back post in the 6-yard box, and Pedro Neto is on the back stick in the 6-yard box. It's a tapping, really, can't really miss. But the ball across, and the way we moved the ball quick. And what have we been saying? Get players into the box, into the 6-yard box. You can score a goal, and we scored a goal. It was a good goal.
Yeah. But if you look at it from the point of view that you get that press, you get into the box, and you stand a chance. We went second half when just after they did the subs. They went back to the back pass. Whereas the first half, we'd got a forward sides, yes, but forward passes. And when you get the forward pass, that's when you get the break and into the box. And if
we did
fade. But if you're going forward, you're going to be in the box. If you're going backwards all the time, like we were last season.
Well, the thing is, when you do the press, especially when you do a high press, you've got to go all together to force the mistake, because otherwise they play through you. And we did that. And Wolves, FC Porto probably had more possession overall. Wolves faded in the second half, never really created anything. But both teams did make changes. Porto made changes a lot sooner than Wolves. And in the end, Wolves finished with there's only Jose Sarr, who had a good game, made one really good save, came and caught some crosses. I thought the defence did really, really well when we defended. We did get caught a few times, 2 or 3 times, by a high back line where the ball over the top. We got in, we dealt with it, we kept it.
That's what I was just going to say, that they were trying to get over the line, drop it at the back,
and have the space to run into.
The space, but
we dealt with it. But we nearly got caught a couple of times for there, and also the back four was quite tight, so there was space on either side. But we defensively, both fullbacks, I thought, did really, really well. We saw a lot of changes towards the end. Fabio Silva, as I say, come in. He had some really nice touches, looked quite positive. He was putting himself about. Gomez come on. Lemina had a very good game, I thought, as well. It was. You got to take the positives from this performance. You know, it's only a pre-season friendly. It was very hot in the first half. You could see the sweat from both sides.
23 degrees.
23 degrees, but there was shadow on the pitch for the second half. Porto never really created any clear. Well, they had one clear-cut opportunity which Jose Sarr dealt with. I thought the back line defensively were quite good. What you could see from my point of view was there's a clear team structure that Lopetegui's putting in. One of the key things that I thought the take out from this, you saw Lamina dropping back to pick the ball up, which does allow the fullbacks to get forward. Now, he played like this a lot with Sevilla, where he had a midfielder that would drop back, allowing the fullbacks to go forward. And I know a lot of people talk about Matt Doherty and getting the forward, you know, he played in a 5. But if he plays this sort of system that he played at Sevilla, when he drops back, it does allow the fullbacks to get forward, which you could see. Thought Matt Doherty, when he came on, did good. He was calm and collected, did around the thing. He was, you know, experienced. Semedo went off. He did take a bit of a knock in the shoulder. Aït-Nouri came on at one point as well. He was putting himself about. But I just want to say it wasn't a non-competitive friendly. It was definitely a competitive friendly. Porto are a good side. They had Pepe playing for them. You know, 40-year-old Pepe, you know, you wouldn't argue with him in an alleyway. You know, he put definitely one on not. You. You know what he's like. We've linked with him before. But Wolves cope with it. But it's only a free season friendly. Is all about getting energy in the legs. There's a lot of players that got 75 minutes. I'd say massive changes towards the end. Lots of young ones coming on. Bit disjointed as the game went on. But overall, lots of negativity around Wolves with players that have come in. But we have got a lot of quality. I thought my man of the match tonight, actually, and on my LEAMORE Windows man of the match, I'm giving it to Matheus Nunes. I thought he was really good in the middle of the park, control, bringing the ball down. He looked quite good. So I'm going to give my LEAMORE Windows man of the match to Matheus Nunes. How about you?
I'm going to go for Kilman.
Kilman, it's a good shout. Yeah, he was solid.
Solid, and that's what he saved us a couple of times, didn't he?
Yeah, his positional play was really good.
He's got some legs on him as well. It's not just a matter of like, well, I stopped him because I was a man mountain. He actually...
he's good on the ball.
He's physical.
This is the reason why we cannot sell Kilman, because Kilman is very, very good. He's composed, you know, he's worth the money, and while obviously Napoli are looking at him, he's a good age. Dawson alongside did quite well. We were a bit vulnerable at points, but we dealt with it, kept a clean sheet. You could see how desperate Sarr was to keep the clean sheet. What's your overall performance rating tonight?
I'd have said the first half about a 7. Second half, about 6. And then,
so you're going to go 6.5?
No, but in overall, because they had a really good go, we'll go for a 7.
7.
Although,
7.
Yeah, 7.
7.
Yeah.
See, I would go the first half. I would probably go 7.5. I would go the second half probably a 6.5. So overall,
7.
It's a 7. It's a 7 from both of us. We're going to go with a 7. So that's kind of our rating. Obviously, we do have 3 more pre-season friendlies coming up. We've got Celtic at the weekend, which me and the producer will be in Dublin for that one. We're going to be shattered by the time we get back, but I'm looking forward to that. So look, make sure you subscribe for plenty of content around that coming up. You know, try and get you some of the atmosphere. Then we've got next week Luton Town, and then we've got Rennes, and then it's United away.
Yeah, that should be fun, isn't it? United.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, but like one of the big questions is like we've got a decent first 15, I would say, 15 or 16, 17 players that we've got some decent quality.
It's quite interesting to say.
But let me come on. But past that, there's not enough depth, I don't think, and we do need. I think we still need to get a striker defender. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that you expected them to fall apart as soon as it started. There was no substitutes in the first half.
Other than
Semedo at half time. But then you would have expected them perhaps to fall apart when they brought the subs on.
A lot of young lads coming on there.
And they didn't really fall apart.
They just lost cohesion.
Lost a little bit, but at the end
didn't fall apart, but the cohesion went. Even saying that, we had a couple of forages towards the end. We had Pond
pressing towards the end. Time to time.
But there you go. What guys in the thing? I don't know if you've got any ratings there, but before we go, any final questions for the last couple of minutes? We wanted to give you our reaction. Obviously, if you want to see the goal reaction, check out the watch along that we did tonight, which was great. But overall, okay. It's good to have a bit of positive to talk about for a change, because it's been all negative, and the Wolves fan base are negative.
That's what I was saying before tea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which we had a lovely tea. The producer put on with lovely tea. But then I was saying that perhaps this game will lift a bit of spirit, because all the rumours and the gloom that you've had,
and you can understand it. People are getting frustrated because there's so many outgoings, although there's only really one or two that would make the team, really, and a lot of the outgoings. And we know that Wolves are working on FP. We've heard the Lopetegui interview today, which obviously he's saying he needs more players. Everyone knows this, but we need at least 3 quality signings. You want players that are going to come in that aren't going to be bench warmers or ones for the future. You need players of quality that they bring in that are going to be first team players. Nuno had a very, very small squad when he was manager. He had a tight squad of around about 19, 20 players. So we've had quite a big squad last year. So a lot has gone out, but we were quite top heavy. We did bring in 5 players in January, and people forget that we brought in 5 players in January. Probably only 1 or 2 of them would have come in January if it wasn't for the fact that we needed. So you have to sort of take that into context, that they've come in January. I know it's not this summer window, but we have that. But we do need to bring in a bit more quality, and Lopetegui needs
We need
help.
a bit more, because if you start picking up injuries like we did last year, and you start losing decent players that you want to play, then you've got not reserve. Yeah, you've got 15, but
you've got to account for injuries and things like that coming on, and so you've got to have depth.
You haven't got the depth to do that at the moment,
and we haven't got the depth to do that. So, and some of the arguments is pre-season, you want to get these players in, bedded into a system and stuff. They're going to be coming in late, so they haven't got as much time to bed in. But you've got to judge the window as a whole. We know the situation with Wolves at the moment with the FFP, and there's a lot of clubs in a similar sort of situation, but Wolves are being very, very careful. So we'll keep you abreast on the channel what happens. Hopefully there'll be some more incoming transfers over the next few days and before the start of the season. And obviously the transfer window runs all the way till the end of August. But that's our thoughts on the game. Hope you thought. If you find this video of value, please smash a like. If you're a proper Wolves fan and you're serious about your Wolves content, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. Lots of content coming up, obviously, up towards the start of the season. From myself and Sensation, always Wolves.